Hi, this is Brandon. Welcome back to part 2. We're going to continue to retopologize the face for animation by connecting the edge loops with quad draw. We'll talk about how to maintain those essential edge loops because they can be easy to break if you're not careful. Let's get to the bare bones of it. Now to bring quad draw back, select your base mesh, make it live by hitting the horseshoe magnet button up over here, and then select the mesh you've been working on that you've built with quad draw. Make sure you're in object mode, and then in the modeling toolkit, select quad draw, and we're good to keep going. All right, now let's start to fill in some of these gaps here. So I like to say, fill in what you know. Now, because we paid attention to where these connected, why don't we go ahead and connect the eyes to the eye mask. I'm gonna add an edge loop here. I'm gonna connect these, move this down a little bit. Again, I want these polygons to be larger. Oh, see, that didn't connect. Okay, now with the eyes, I always like to have an edge loop running on the crease of the eye, basically where the eyelid would open and close. So when I add facial animation to this later on, I can open and close the eyelids and it will hinge on this geometry. Essentially, the way you're laying this out, you're laying the foundation for how the geometry itself is going to work. And if we don't lay this out somewhat correctly, you're going to get different triangles that pop and things that kind of show up funny. There's something we'll get into here in a little bit. It's called a pole. Okay, so now one of the trickier spots, honestly, is the nose and the nose connecting to the mouth. So I'm going to hold off on that for just a moment, because I like to say, especially to new people, connect what you know. Get as much done as you can. Connect what you know how to do. Let's go ahead and connect these. And the reason I say don't connect these in the beginning is because it's so tempting to just make a spiral and then keep going. And then you start pushing out, you neglect, people tend to neglect these edge loops, and it really causes some issues. Okay, I also want these polygons to be as square as possible, and sometimes it's just not possible, but I want them as square as possible and about as evenly sized as possible. Let's put some geo behind the eyes. Yes, we do need geometry back here. It doesn't have to be amazing, but we need something. Hold down shift, get this polygon coming across here, and this one coming across here. Again, this is why I like having 8. Like, oh, there's a triangle. Well, not if I do this. Now see, that's gonna pop to somewhere funny, so watch where that goes. Okay, so I can connect this here, and that's technically a quad, but every GPU is going to triangulate your geometry. The question is, which way will it triangulate? Will it draw a line from here to here or here to here, which completely changes how the model is going to look. If it draws from here to here, then I've got this eye sticking out where I don't want it to. So let's actually instead do this. Nice and simple, right? Let's do the same thing for the mouth. Cut this in the center here, and this is probably gonna pop back kind of funny. Now later on, we'll handle more of the mouth. I just wanna get this started. So we're gonna start out simple. We'll connect that. All right, now see how it's still clipping through? We need more resolution in this, more geometry, but we'll add that in a minute. Let's just get the basics started. You know, I'm really tempted. I think I might just, I think we're gonna do it. Let's connect that one. Just, it's begging me, it's calling me. It's like, connect me, connect me. Let's start to roll back around the back of the face. Let's get this blocked out a little further. Now, if I grab this tab and pull it out, even though it's not just a single quad, that still works. Tab, pull it back. Sometimes I'll pull it really far and then just hit Control to add something else in there. Tab, pull it back to the back of the head, add something in the middle. Sometimes that's just faster for me. In fact, here's another trick. If I had not connected these, what I can then do is I can even pull this clear over. This is really low poly, right? But I'm not gonna leave it like this. I can then come in and add one here, and I've already got geo that's built up pretty well. It's not the same size, so I can also hit shift. And if I just hold shift, this relax comes up and I can kind of relax this out. Now be careful because this will melt your model just like any other smoothing feature will, but it's a nice good little start. So that's gonna connect. Yeah, you might as well put these back and actually connect them. There we go. It's a huge polygon. Now what I wanna do on the back of the head is I wanna create kind of a spiral, right? I wanna wrap around the ear for this to work. Control, drop that in, but I want it to stay behind. Now stay in your lane, bro. We can connect these. And this, yeah, see this should go back down here. I could even pull one out this direction if I felt like it instead. If you ever click any of these little vertices you want to get rid of, you can move them around and use them, but you can also do Control Shift click to get rid of it as well. Control Shift with that X will show up. That'll delete anything that's deletable. I'm gonna go pretty much to the base of the neck back here. I don't know if the microphone's picking it up, but one of my cats is in here sleeping on the job. He said he was gonna help me today. And sometimes I'll just run smooth, just real quick, just to kind of smooth these out. Now what I'm gonna do here is, let's grab tab on this one, hit that, bring this over here. Now this, let's bring down around here. See, I want this to stay consistent because if I go and hit Control, see how it adds that edge loop in there? I want to be able to have control over that. if I were, for example, to do this instead, bring this down this way, and then add that, that's technically not incorrect, but see the edge loop just runs front to back. I pull tab and pull it out of the bottom instead of the side, and then wrap this around and connect those. And then I can bring this down here, and I can bring this down here, see, and then I get this C-shape curve coming in here, and that's what I want. It's a good way to connect behind the ears. You can also grab entire polygons or edges, move those around. Another cool trick that I can do, we'll show you what happens if I deselect this. I go to object mode and hit, say, Q or something like that. See how it's not in quad draw mode anymore? And if I'm in object mode and that's selected, see, all this is actual geometry. This is real geometry that we get to work with later. So what I can also do, if I go to create a cylinder, it's snapping right to it. Let's turn that off for a second. Keep that in the center. All right, now if I go over here, I've got the cylinder here. And by default, if I click over here under inputs, polycylinder, this gives me information about this particular cylinder. It has 20 subdivisions. Let's bring that down to 8. Like I said, 8's a good little magic number. Works in the powers of 2. If I just marquee drag to select these, and then shift marquee over the whole thing, it will inverse my selection. Then I can just delete that. And now I can, here, let's scale it up a bit. Maybe shrink it down a little bit. Put this over here. Scale it back up since it's kind of lost in the head, in the neck. Rotate this around. All right, now it's going to clip in. It's not going to be perfect, but that's fine. I don't want it to clip in too much, but just get like the basic shape. And what I can do now, go and grab this new cylinder I made, reactivate quad draw. I now have geometry that I can work with, and I've got a continuous edge loop built. So you can use pre-existing geometry to essentially make quad draw happen, right? This is really good. This little trick is good for like a neck, arms, legs, things like that. And you may notice, you're like, well, it's all great and dandy, but where's my other work? Where's this other stuff, right? What needs to happen, if I hit W to select off of that, if I'm going to shift select my geometry, right, the stuff that I've been working with, shift select, like click, shift select, and then go to mesh, combine. Now it's all one universal piece. Even though it's not welded together, it's combined as one object. So now if I hit quad draw, it activates it again. And it includes that new geo there. Kind of a fun little trick to get some extra stuff in there. Now, I wanted to stay simple and not go too complicated too fast, which is why I just did 8. I think 8's just a good number to start with because you can always add more. It's so much harder to take away than it is to add more. And yeah, let's just connect these up. And under the chin, I need a little more movement down under here. Okay, let's kind of line these up. And instead of just like connecting these, if you look, I've essentially got a spot for a polygon right there. So you might as well add that. That also gives some extra geometry for if the head moves up and down. So the neck has some geometry to stretch with. I'm going to work on the ear a little bit because I'm probably going to need to add some geo in here to connect over. Now what I like to do is start on the ridge of the ear and add geo along here. And then we'll just keep extruding them out. If I get too lazy, it's too much right now. The dangerous part though, do you see 2 things happen there? 1, I just added a bunch of them without really thinking about it. 2, that one auto-connected. We need to remember that these need to match up with the existing geometry. Always think about whatever you create needs to match up with the other pieces. This is why I don't get too many polygons going too fast or too many, because it is super easy to get overwhelmed. And believe me, it gets overwhelming. Now see how this is actually inside of the ear? Sometimes this happens and you just kind of need to like pop it out. There we go. Always move your model around, look at it from different angles. Okay, so those will connect, those will connect. Yeah, let's do out another one in here. This could be the back of the ear. See, sometimes it'll just assume, right, what you want to do. You can just move that in, do something like that, and be like, no, you're going here. Sometimes you got to tell Maya, here's what I need. This is what I need from you. None of these are like solid in place yet, so we can always kind of move stuff around and continue to work with it, right? Like nothing's set in stone. And if something like this happens, you're like, oh, that works. That's a quad. It is a quad, but it's I call them like diamond quads, or like arrowhead quads. This ends in edge loop. So if I were to put an edge loop in here, see how it can redirect it if you want it to. But if that's not what you intended, then that's not helpful. Okay, bring the ear on there. Tab this down here. Yeah, I'm just gonna drop one in there. So I know I'm gonna need it. This can kind of connect with that, and then this can connect with that. See, if I'd already connected those, connecting this one might have been tricky, and I might have forgotten about this. So that's why I say don't connect edge loops until you know that you're ready. Pull this back out here. Now I may, at some point I do have to have a transition here. Question is just when that needs to happen. Let's get this right into the base of the ear here. Okay, now I do know like the back of the head, I mean, that's too low poly. That's not gonna that's not going to fly. So we can always throw some in here. The question is, do I want to add one more in here? I like to think like wherever there's a plane change, we need to put a polygon, right? So we've got like a major one here. We've got a major one here. There is kind of a plane change back here. So let's do that. Let's add one. Drop one back here. See, and that's all kind of connecting up nice. Now this, we'll see. I might have to tweak that. And see, even that last one, it was kind of close to this other one, but I just moved it instead, and that worked out just fine. Even though I'm adding more, I still want to be conscious of how many I'm adding. Okay, now as this wraps around, this transition does need to go into, basically go from 1 to 2, right? There's different ways you can connect these, because I could connect this and have this be running 2 all the way around, but then it's like, well, do I need that many? Let's pull this out. Connect that. Yeah, we'll connect that for now, because this can also come back up here, right? We can let that maybe give us a little more space here. You want to be careful. We don't want that to connect where we don't want it to. Grab that. I can always weld this together down here. I could come in and be like, ooh, let's smooth it. Well, careful. It'll melt. This will smooth and open up, but this stuff will shrink. All right, now let's go ahead and connect some of these pieces. Let's tab, extrude this down, and I'm just going to bring this down through the center here. And we'll do one more just to make this easier. There we go. Let's go to this one. Oops. I want to be conscious of how this is connecting. Like down here, this might not be the most efficient way to have connected this. So now I'm going to add, instead of deleting all of this, I'm going to add an edge loop. Kind of create myself like a way out here, right? Like relax that away even. Okay, so I'm actually going to try something slightly different here. Let's not connect it like that. I just don't like how that's sitting. It's too square. Like I want to keep these edge loops going, right? Like this idea of the edge loop is what I want to maintain as much as I can. So let's pull this out. And sometimes it's just trial and error, right? Like there's not so much a formula. It's just a matter of kind of puzzle fitting things together. We'll connect this up here. There we go. Put this out of the way again. And fill that in there. Now see how we're building an edge loop. We want to maintain these edge loops as much as we can. When you dead end stuff, it's harder to work with. So I could just do that, but that's going to dead end it, right? So let's add this one here and keep the edge loop going instead. I want to be careful of where this edge loop goes and connects to. So I want to make sure I'm connecting, if we can, connect this back to itself. So let's do that. I'll hold control like this and test this all the time and see, are my edge loops contained? Like, are they going the direction I want them to be going in? Seeing that, there we go. We've got that edge loop again, right? Want to maintain these edge loops, and then it's easy to close this stuff up. I do have one extra up here. If I add one there, then now I can put 2 in here. Again, these are super long and skinny. I don't want them to stay that way. I can kind of bring these in a little bit more. I'm going to need to add some extra geo in here. See, I can just pop that edge loop in, and then it just continues to work for me, right? Like I need to be careful of keeping my originals, right? I want to keep this going here, so I need to make sure that is maintained there, right? Because I don't want to lose this. I got to keep this in mind. Yeah, let's do that. Let's connect that one. See, now here we've got one of these arrowhead shaped things, like this kind of triangle quad. Space these out a little bit. Certainly I can bring these down. So I don't like how these are connecting, and they're connecting on this side corner. So let's delete that. So we essentially don't need that many. I do want to keep the edge loop going though. Okay, so let's keep that one. Sometimes spreading these out helps. So I'll try to square them more out when I can. We'll add another one across here because I need that for that definition to come around for the ear. Let's nuke that one for now. Let's delete those. So there's a way I can redirect this. If I add a vertex here, so I'm making this kind of redirect, I do have to have some other edge loop in here, which I'm going to need anyway. This is, again, very low res geo. This is why I start low res, so I can always add more, and I tend to need to as I move along. See, now look how clean that turned out. So I've got 2 that turned into 1. Okay, cool. So I can have dense areas next to more open areas, and that's okay. See, now I've got a triangle in there, right? So let's nuke that for now. Let's connect that instead. Okay, I can either add this here or here. And the question is, how do I want that to redirect? Downside though is that, remember this edge loop out here around the face? I want to keep that. So what I could also do is break that here and put this here. Now, remember how I talked about a pole earlier? This is a pole. It's when you have more than 4 polygons conjoining in one point. We've got 5 here. Poles are inevitable. I want to place them where it's not going to disturb animation too much. I want to put this somewhere where I don't have a lot of stretching. And up here by the ear, there's not a lot that's going to move too much. If I were to put some like right by the crease of the mouth or in the crease of the eyes, or that's not optimized geometry for animation. Remember how I said I might not like this? So let's experiment with that. Okay, but if I do this, see how that dead ends and that kills that mask edge loop? We want to keep that. Let's nuke this, pull this out, and keep this going here, because then I maintain that mask. I am going to have to add extra geo in here at some point. Since I added one to the bottom, I'm going to add one to the top as well. And I'm going to look at where that connects. See, that brings it clear down by the jaw. So we want to be aware of how that runs through. I'm going to add one here, and then I'm going to add one here. So I'm essentially trying to keep track of how many extra edge loops I'm adding to the eyes and keep it somewhat consistent. Just because I add one here, I don't have to add one on the other side, but I'm in that low poly stage where I just might as well keep it even. And see, by putting this in behind the eyes, things run right through it. Had I left that open, they would just kind of dead end. It puts it all the way across for me. I know I need to add more to the mouth as well. So let's drop one there. Let's drop one here. I'm always asking myself, do I want to connect something and continue an edge loop? Or do I want to add a new redirect? So that closed up not terribly, not amazingly. I don't love this edge loop running through here like this. So sometimes what I can do is I can build geometry like this and then say, let's go and fix that. And sometimes I'll see patterns where I'm like, okay, well, if this comes into here, this can come into here, and that whole thing just kind of disappeared. Then I can add more intentional geometry throughout instead. Again, this is why I want to maintain those edge loops. This is why this is crucial. Now, another fun trick is if I hit B, as in Brandon, or bare bones, this activates soft select, and soft select selects more than one vertice. Now, if I want to adjust the fall off of this, I can hold down B and then middle mouse right and left. You see how it gets much bigger and much smaller. And then with soft select, I can hold down shift, and it just kind of helps even out the smoothing. If I drag all the way around, it can melt those eyes really quickly. So you gotta be careful with that. So sometimes I'll just tap it where the geo is more dense. Let's make this a little smaller so it's a little more consistent. I wanna do this with very controlled strokes. Okay, hit B, turn it back off. Now this edge is starting to kind of fall apart in here. I wanna keep this edge right up against the neck, where that neck transition happens. The reason why it's wanting to smooth away from that is I don't have any supporting geometry in here, so we can add an edge loop to that. Let's add two. There we go. Okay, and again, I can smooth these out, right? See how nice that works? Soft select again, kind of bring these up. If I hit shift and I am smoothing in the inside, if I move to the outside, it won't affect the outside. But if I start on the outside edge, it just affects the outside edge and doesn't affect the inside, which is kind of nice to have that control. Like, no, let's just fix the edge first. Now let's fix the inside. Just the edge, just the inside. It kind of helps. Let's see, it's too much. Let's turn that off. All right, let's see. See back here, it's helping me out. Top of the head, it's kind of pushing these away. So you gotta be careful. What's also nice about soft select is I can use it to move things. It's not just for smoothing. It's whatever selection I'm wanting to happen. So I can grab several things and push them together. And even if I push it more than I think I need, kind of like really push these together up here, then I can relax them out of it and get a little more consistent result. It's never perfect, there's always a little cleanup, but pretty helpful. All right, let's fix some of these issues. There we go. All right, we'll continue to work on the nose in the next video. I'll see you in part 3. That's about the bare bones of building the head. We'll see you in the next one.